Hello, I'm going to start with a Northumbrian lullaby. It's very well known, this one. It's called Bonny at Morn, and it's got a funny line in it, which says, "Thou's our lang o' thy bed," and that's where she's calling to her idle loafer of a son who won't get out of bed. It's called Bonny at Morn. The sheep's in the meadow, and the kye's in the corn. Thou's our lang in thy bed, bonny at morn. The sheep's in the meadow, and the kye's in the corn. Thou's our lang in thy bed, bonny at morn. Canny at neat, bonny at morn. Thou's our lang in thy bed, bonny at morn. The birds in the nest, and the trouts in the burn. Thou hinders thy mother at many a turn. The birds in the nest, and the trouts in the burn. Thou hinders thy mother at many a turn. Canny at neat, bonny at morn. Thou's our lang in thy bed, bonny at morn. We're all laid idle, we're keeping the bairn. The lad will not work, and the lass will not learn. We're all laid idle, we're keeping the bairn. The lad will not work, and the lass will not learn. Canny at neat, bonny at morn. Thou's our lang in thy bed, bonny at morn. I'm going to do a song from further up the coast this time, from Bamborough. It's called The Bonny Fisher Lad, and basically the message is that she's intent on marrying a fisher lad because she's a fisher lass. It's called The Bonny Fisher Lad. Oh, the bonny fisher lad that brings the fishes frae the sea. Oh, the bonny fisher lad, the fisher lad God had o' me. On Bamborough's rocky shore, just as you enter Boomeroo, there lives a bonny fisher lad, the fisher lad that bangs them all. Oh, the bonny fisher lad that brings the fishes frae the sea. Oh, the bonny fisher lad, the fisher lad God had o' me. Me mother sent me out one day to gather cockles frae the sea, but I had not been long away when the fisher lad God had o' me. Oh, the bonny fisher lad that brings the fishes frae the sea. Oh, the bonny fisher lad, the fisher lad God had o' me. A sailor I will never marry, no soldier, 'cause he's got no brass, but I will wed a fisher lad, because I am a fisher lass. Oh, the bonny fisher lad that brings the fishes frae the sea. Oh, the bonny fisher lad, the fisher lad God had o' me. Oh, the bonny fisher lad that brings the fishes frae the sea. Oh, the bonny fisher lad, the fisher lad God had o' me. This next one it's a song that I particularly love because it's called Don't Waters Farewell. And it's about James Radcliffe, who was the 4th Earl of Derwentwater, whose ancestral home was Dilston Hall, which happens to be where I was born. I have to say that he was beheaded for his part in the 1715 Jacobite Rising, and later they laid waste to his castle and grounds, etc. And years later, centuries later in fact, they built a little nursing hospital in the grounds, which is where I come in. But anyway, it's a great favourite. He was greatly loved, apparently, by the local people. And he's supposed to be singing this from the tower, waiting to be beheaded, longing to be buried in Hexham's Holy Towers, Hexham Abbey. So here it is, Derwentwater's Farewell. Farewell to pleasant Dilston Hall, my father's ancient seat. A stranger now must call thee his, which caused my soul to greet, and fare thee well each well-known face my heart has held so dear. My tenants now must lose their lands, or hold their lives in fear. No more along the banks of Tyne I'll rove in autumn grey. No more I'll hear at early dawn the lavrock wake the day, and who shall deck the hawthorn bower where my fond childhood strayed? And who, when spring shall bid it flower, shall sit beneath its shade? And fare thee well, George Collingwood, since fate has put us down. If you and I must lose our lives, our king must lose his crown. But when the head that wears the crown shall be laid low like mine, 100 souls must then lament for Radcliffe's fallen line. And fare thee well, my lady dear, ill thou counsel'st me. I never more may see the babe that smiles upon thy knee. And fare thee well, brave Widrington, and foster ever true. Dear Shaftesbury and Errington, receive my last adieu. And fare thee well, my bonny grey steed, that carried me aye so free. I wish I'd been asleep in bed last time I mounted thee. The warning bell now bids me cease, my troubles nearly o'er. You sun that rises in the east shall rise on me no more. Albeit that here in London town it is my fate to die. Oh, carry me to Northumberland, in my father's grave to lie, and chant my solemn requiem in Hexham's holy towers, and let 6 maids from fair Tynedale scatter my grave with flowers. This next song is a song that was actually collected from a Mr. Fairless in Hexham. And it's set in Felton, just beside Morpeth there. And it's called Robin Spragon's Old Grey Mare. And it's this mare that's bequeathed various bits of her anatomy to local members of the community. Robin Spragon's Old Grey Mare. The miller of Ogle bred me, as I have heard them say, and gallantly he fed me with the best of corn and hay. For meal and malt I wanted not while in his custody, but now I'm Robin Spragon's old grey mare. Ay, how he's guided me. Sometimes he took his gowpen, sometimes he took his hat, sometimes he took them out a dish to where the corn was put. For meal and malt I wanted not while in his custody, but now I'm Robin Spragon's old grey mare. Ay, how he's guided me. Spragon sets the pads upon me back, say early in the morn, and rides me down to Felton without either hay or corn. When all the rest get hay enough, there's never a bit for me, for I'm Robin Spragon's old grey mare. Ay, how he's guided me. A thrifty Dame Molly, she rises soon at morn, and goes and tells the master I'm pulling up the lawn. He hitches up the oxen gad, and Sabby labours me, for I'm Robin Spragon's old grey mare. Ay, how he's guided me. There's Tally-ho Trevelyan, whiles hunts upon the hill. I'll leave to him me carcass to be his dogs a fill, to help them hunt live rennie until the day they dee. For I'm Robin Spragon's old grey mare. Ay, how he's guided me. Then there's fussy Parson Oliphant, his coat is growing thin. I'll leave to him me battered hide to roll him cosy in, to keep him warm in winter, as oft it has done me. For I'm Robin Spragon's old grey mare. Ay, how he's guided me. Then there's Canty Matthew Arkley, whiles works about the dykes. I'll leave to him me small bags to be a set of pipes, to play the lasses merry tunes and make them dance with glee. For I'm Robin Spragon's old grey mare. Ay, how he's guided me. There's blithesome Tibby Richardson, she is a bonny lass. The water trough where oft I drank may serve as keek and glass, to see to set her pinner straight, as oft it stands a glee. For I'm Robin Spragon's old grey mare. Ay, how he's guided me. But as for Robin Spragon, I'll leave him not a plack, for many's the times he's spurred me sides, and so he's licked me back. But worst of all, he's pinched me wame, which caused me to dee. I was Robin Spragon's hungered jade, I ill he used me. I'll have to have a swig. Right, and I'm going to end this little set with probably the most well-known Northumbrian song. In fact, many would say it's the Northumbrian anthem, national anthem. It's called The Water of Tyne. Many people will say that the ferry, it was at Bladen, the famous ferry in the song. But up near where I'm from, there's a lovely spot that obviously had a ferry on the Tyne, from Cholaton that goes across to Horton Castle. And I rather think that's a more romantic setting for the Water of Tyne, but I'm probably outnumbered. The Water of Tyne. I cannot get to my love if I would thee, for the water of Tyne runs between him and me. So here I must stand with a tear in my eye, both sighing and sickly, my sweetheart to see. Oh, where is the boatman, my bonny hinny? Oh, where is the boatman? Bring him to me. If he'll ferry me over the Tyne to my honey, and I will remember the boatman and thee. Oh, bring me a boatman, I'll give any money, and you for your trouble rewarded shall be, if you'll ferry me over the Tyne to my honey. Oh, scull him across that rough river to me.
Bobby Shafto's gone to sea, siller buckles on his knee. He'll come back and marry me, bonny Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's bright and fair, came and doon his yellow hair. He's me in forevermore, bonny Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's gone to sea, siller buckles on his knee. He'll come back and marry me, bonny Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's tall and slim, always dressing neat and trim. The lassies they all kick at him, bonny Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's gone to sea, siller buckles on his knee. He'll come back and marry me, bonny Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's getting a bairn for to dandle on his arm, in his arm and on his knee, bonny Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's gone to sea, siller buckles on his knee. He'll come back and marry me, bonny Bobby Shafto.
Fresh I come from Sandgate Street, Dolly, Dolly, my best friend's here to meet. Dolly, ah, Dolly the Dillon doll, Dolly, Dolly, Dolly the Dillon doll, Dolly, ah. Dolly Coxon's pound a sock, Dolly, Dolly, to ride upon the baggage cart, Dolly, ah. Dolly the Dillon doll, Dolly, Dolly, Dolly the Dillon doll, Dolly, ah. The black cuffs has gone away, Dolly, Dolly, and that'll be a crying day. Dolly, ah, Dolly the Dillon doll. Dolly, Dolly, Dolly the Dillon doll. Dolly, ah, the green cuffs is coming in. Dolly, Dolly, and that'll make the lasses sing. Dolly, ah, Dolly the Dillon doll. Dolly, Dolly, Dolly the Dillon doll. Dolly, ah. Fresh I come from Sandgate Street. Dolly, Dolly, my best friend's here to meet. Dolly, ah, Dolly the Dillon doll. Dolly, Dolly, Dolly the Dillon doll. Dolly, ah. It's so but I ken well, are you me hinny bird, the bonny lass of Benwell, are you she's long-legged and mother-like, are you me hinny bird, say she's loping up the dyke, are you the quayside for sailors, are you me hinny bird, Castlegarth for tailors, are you Gateshead Hills for millers, are you me hinny bird, North Shore for keelers, are you the Sandgate for old drags, are you me hinny bird, Gallagate for trolley bags, are you there's Denton and Kenton, are you me hinny bird, Canny Lang Benton, are you there's Tynemouth and Cullercoats, are you me hinny bird, North Shields for sculler boats, are you there's West Olives of a Nuke, are you me hinny bird, South Shields the place for soot, are you there's Horton and Holywell, are you me hinny bird, Bonnie Seaton Delaval, are you Hartley Pans for sailors, are you me hinny bird, Bedlington for nailers, are you it's so but I ken well, are you me hinny bird, the bonny lass of Benwell, are you she's long-legged and mother-like, are you me hinny bird, say she's waking up the dyke, are you I drew my ship unto a harbour, I drew it close where my true love lay, I drew it close up by her window, to listen what my true love did say. Who's there that raps so loud at my window? That raps so loud and fain would be in. It is your true love that loves you dearly. So arise, my love, and let me in. Then slowly, slowly got she up, and slowly, slowly come she down. But when she got the door unlocked, her true love had both been and gone. Come back, my only true love. Come back, my in one, and ease my pain. Your face I saw not, your voice I knew not. My love, my heart would break in twain. The ripest apple is soonest rotten, the hottest love is soonest cold, seldom seen is soon forgotten. True love is timid, so be not bold. He's brisk and broad, lads, he's far away, lads. He's far beyond yon raging main, where fishers dancing and dark eyes glancing have made him quite forget his inn. The king has gone from Bamborough Castle, long may the princess mourn. Long may she stand on the castle wall, waiting for his return. Well, it fell out on the day the king brought the queen with him home, and all the lords in our country to welcome him did come. You're welcome, father, the lady cried, to all our halls and bowers, and so are you, my stepmother, and all that's here is yours. Well, a lord stood wondering while she spake, this princess of the north surpasseth all the female kind for beauty and for worth. The envious queen at last replied, you might have accepted me, for in a few hours I will her bring down to a low degree. I will liken her into a worm that laps around the stain, and not till childy wine comes yem shall she again be won. Well, the lady stood at her window, laughing, who could her blame? But the very next day, before the sun went down, a long worm she became. Now 7 miles east, 7 miles west, 7 miles north and south, no blade of grass nor corn could grow, so venomous was her mouth. And word went east, word went west, and over the sea did go, and the child of Wynn got wit of it, which filled his heart with woe. And he is called straight his merry men all, 30 they were and 3. I wish I was at Spindleston this loathsome worm to see. He has built a ship without delay, masts of the rowan tree, and fluttering sails of silver silks so fine, and set it on the sea. We have no time now here to waste, quickly let us sail. My only sister Margaret something I fear doth ail. The lady stood at her window to see what she could see. There she espied a gallant ship a-sailing on the sea. When she beheld those fluttering sails full glancing in the sun, to sink the ship she sent away her witch wives every one. Their spells in vain, the hags returned to the queen in sorrowing mood, crying witches have no power where there is Roundtree wood. The worm leapt up, the worm leapt down, she lapped around the stain, and when the child he came to land, she dashed it off again. And he has run out of her reach, the ship on Budle sands, and jumping into the shallow sea, he safely got to land. And he has drawn straight his berry brown sword, laid it on her head, and swore if she did harm to him, he would strike her dead. Oh, quit thy sword and bend thy bow, and give me kisses 3, for if I'm not won before the sun goes down, then one I'll never be. He quit his sword, he bent his bow, he gave her kisses 3. She crept into a hole a worm, but out stepped a lady. He's taken his mantle from him about, and it he wrapped her in, and they are off to Bamborough as fast as they could win. Her absence and the serpent shape the king had long deplored, he now rejoiced to see them both again to him restored. The queen they wanted, whom they found pale and sore afraid, because she knew her power must yield to childy wines, who said, woe be to thee, thou wicked witch, an ill death mayst thou die, as thou my sister has likened thou shalt be. I will turn you into a toad that on the road doth wend, and one thou shalt never be till this world has an end. Now on the ground near Ida's tower there crawls a loathsome toad, who venom spits at every maid she meets upon the road. Are you going to Whittingham Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary and a thyme, remember me to one who lives there. For once she was a true love of mine. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt, parsley, sage, rosemary and a thyme, without a stitch or any needlework. And then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to wash it in yonder dry well, parsley, sage, rosemary and a thyme, where water ne'er sprung, nor drop of rain fell. And then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to dry it on yonder thorn, parsley, sage, rosemary and a thyme, where blossom ne'er sprung since Adam was born. And then she'll be a true love of mine. Well, now he has asked me questions 3, parsley, sage, rosemary and a thyme. I hope he'll answer as many for me, and then he'll be a true love of mine. Tell him to find me an acre of land, parsley, sage, rosemary and a thyme, between the salt water and the sea strand. And then he'll be a true love of mine. Tell him to plough it with a ram's horn, parsley, sage, rosemary and a thyme, and sow it all o'er with one peppercorn, and then he'll be a true love of mine. Tell him to reap it with a sickle of leather, parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme, and bind it all up in one peacock's feather, and then he'll be a true love of mine. Then, when he's done and finished his work, parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme, oh, tell him to come, and he'll have his shirt, and then he'll be a true love of mine. Here's the tender come and pressing all the men, oh dear innies, what shall we do then? Here's the tender coming off at Shields Bar, here's the tender coming full of men of war. Here's the tender coming pressing all the men, oh dear innies, what shall we do then? Hey, bonny lassie, let's come to the law, see the tender lying off at Shields Bar. With the colours flying anchor at a bow, that took me bonny laddie best of all the crew. Here's the tender coming, pressing all the men, oh dear innies, what shall we do then? Where hast thou been, my canny hinny? Where hast thou been, my winsome man? I've been to the north, cruising back and forward. I've been to the north, cruising sand long. I've been to the north, cruising back and forward, but doesn't come ashore for Bovar and his gang. I seen hound my bonny lad, and I is sure he's weel, oh, he's gone our land wi' a stick of his hand. He's gone to moor the keel, oh. I but have seen your bonny lad across the sea. I spied him, his grave is green, but not wi' grass, and ye'll never lie aside him. I seen him, my bonny lad, and I is sure he's weel, oh, he's gone our land wi' a stick of his hand. He's gone to moor the keel, oh. a feather, hey for the bonny lass too that lives in Hexhamshire. Through by the Savey, Spragon, Dower, the Moss and the Mire. I'm gonna see me bonny lass who lives in Hexhamshire. I love the lassie myself, but the devil, well, I can't get at her. Through by the Savey, Spragon, Dower, the Moss and the Mire. I'm gonna see me bonny lass who lives in Hexhamshire. Oh, this love, I'm weary. Sleep, well, I can't get none for thinking of me dearie. Through by the Savey, Spragon, Dower, the Moss and the Mire. I'm gonna see me bonny lass who lives in Hexhamshire. Like to break, my bottom is on fire. So well I love that lass who lives in Hexhamshire. Through by the Savey, Spragon, Dower, the Moss and the Mire. I'm gonna see me bonny lass who lives in Hexhamshire. Her petticoat is silk and plaited round with silver. Her shoes are tied with tape. She'll wait till I go to her. Through by the Savey, Spragon, Dower, the Moss and the Mire. I'm gonna see me bonny lass who lives in Hexhamshire. And where I would be beside her. Here a while I must be, whatever may betide her. Through by the Savey, Spragon, Dower, the Moss and the Mire. I'm gonna see me bonny lass who lives in Hexhamshire. So hey for the thick and the thin, hey for the mud and the mire, hey for the bonny lass who lives in Hexhamshire. Through by the Savey, Spragon, Dower, the Moss and the Mire. I'm gonna see me bonny lass who lives in Hexhamshire.
Hi and welcome. I'm going to play some tunes from the Northumbrian Minstrelsy, a wonderful book that was published 140 years ago and certainly big influence on my music. And Kim has asked me to start off with Chevy Chase, which is the first of the tunes in the pipe section and actually also starts the song section because of course there's the great ballad of Chevy Chase. So we'll have Chevy Chase and then Fenwick of Bible, which is in the Northumbrian Minstrelsy, but was also in John Peacock's book, a collection of tunes that was published about 80 years before the Minstrelsy, back at the turn of the 1800s in Newcastle. Chevy Chase. So, this book, the Northumbrian Minstrelsy, was a very big influence on me and on the band that I played with at that time, which was called the High Level Ranters. And Colin and Johnny were often talking about this book, the Northumbrian Minstrelsy, but you couldn't just go out and buy a copy. And the only place I found one was in the Central Library in Newcastle, in the reference library, so you couldn't take it out. And of course, this was the days before photocopiers. So my friend Dave Richardson, who later joined the Boys of the Loft, used to cycle from Wallsend up to Newcastle on a Saturday morning and sit there, and we hand copied the entire book. Dave wrote out all the words of the songs, and I wrote out all the dots. And about 6 months after that, the book was republished by Kenny Goldstein and his friends in Philadelphia. Anyway, which made it much more available, which is great. So one of the interesting things is looking back at the manuscript now, at the Minstrelsy, the book itself, I realised that the Ranters changed quite a few notes. So some of them I'll play the way I played them with them, and sometimes I will go back to the as it was in the Buck. Anyway, we'll play you the Black Cock of Wickham, which Colin and Johnny changed quite significantly. Just one note, but a very important one. And then the Broken Leg Chicken. Great tunes. Great fun, and quite sort of unusual rhythms going on there, and there's a lot of tunes in the Minstrelsy that really explore rhythms which I wasn't hearing in the standard jigs and reels elsewhere in the country. And one of the tunes that absolutely grabbed me back then in the 60s when I was starting to play was a tune called the Dorrington Lads. Now it's a 9/8 jig. There's a lot of 9/8 jigs in the Minstrelsy. And yeah, it just fascinated me the way it threw the rhythms around. So we shall have the Dorrington Lads, Show Us the Way to Wallington, and the Wedding of Blythe. I'll play you a gentler one now. A tune that I used to play, pretty well every night in my early years of performing as a professional musician. It's a tune called Sir John Fenwick Was the Flower Amongst Them All. John Fenwick lived out towards Wallington, and he was beheaded on Tower Hill in the 1690s because he tried to assassinate William III, that's William of Orange, and the plot was discovered and he was duly beheaded. And the Crown also confiscated a lot of his lands from the family, and also his horse, a famous horse called White Sorrel. However, the king went for a ride on this horse some years later, fell off it and killed himself. Northumbrians will get you in the end. Anyway, this is a lovely tune called Sir John Fenwick Was the Flower Amongst Them All. Now, as I say, Northumbrian Minstrelsy is just a great tune, great book of tunes. And it's amazing that after all these years, I'm still finding great tunes in there. And I'm going to play you one now which I've loved for a long time, but actually I never got around to performing. It's a tune called Little Fishy, and it's a tune in 3/2, and there's quite a lot of 3/2 tunes in the minstrelsy. And these, or at least some of them, are what we call now triple time hornpipes. You might know that the hornpipe since the 19th century has been in 4/4, but there was a whole different body of tunes called hornpipes back in the 1650s, early 1700s, and these are similar. So most parts of England, these tunes died out by the 1700s, but or 1750s certainly. In Northumberland, some of them kept going, and the Lads of Alnwick was constantly within the Northumbrian pipers repertoire right through into the 1960s when, you know, Colin and people started getting them all going again. So here we'll have Little Fishy, Go to Berwick Johnny, and the Lads of Alnwick to finish off with. And I hope you've enjoyed these tunes from the Northumbrian Minstrelsy.